Hey, welcome back to After the Episode, brought to you by Line Cutters, the adjustable ring that cuts fishing line. Oh, hey, getting ready to film after the episode. All right, guys, what's going on? I want to talk to y'all a little bit about knocker rigs. Why knocker rigs? Teresa's making funny things behind the camera. Why knocker rigs? This is not funny. I can't do this.
Go on,
I can't work in these conditions.
Oh, gosh.
What's the advantage to knocker rigs? You can use a Carolina rig when you're deep fishing for things like snapper and grouper. And if it's kind of calm, you can get away with the Carolina rig. But the problem with Carolina rig is your weight's here and your hook's here. And if there's a lot of current, you get this going on and you get it wrapped around. So a knocker rig is super simple and is a great way to keep things untangled. Let me show you how simple a knocker rig is, and you'll live it and love it from now on when you're deep dropping for red snapper.
And cut.
I'm going to start with a giant spool of Trilene 40-pound test, big game. I use this for all kind of stuff. Makes great leaders. This is just straight mono. Knocker rig, it does not get any more simple than this. When you're fishing for snapper in Florida, you have to use a circle hook. I have a couple here. I actually like lighter wire than this, but this is for demonstration purposes. So you have your leader line going to your main braid, okay? And you can leave, I don't know, it depends on the person, but 2 to, let's say, 3.5 feet a leader. How big the snap rod depends on how big a leader you need.
Well,
how finicky.
How do you know how big they're going to be when you get it down there?
Well, when you start catching them.
Okay.
When you start catching them, you kind of know if they're just above legal. You can probably get away with 20-pound braid, 20-pound fluorocarbon or mono, let's say, and you'll get more bites. But if you're starting to get some real horses, you may have to bump it up to 40 or even 60. You know, it just kind of depends on the situation. And the same goes with the weight. How do you know what weight to use? That's totally dependent upon the amount of current. So if there's not a lot of current, you can get away with it 1 ounce or something. If there's a lot of current, you may have to jump to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It just depends on how deep and how much current. So you kind of have to just play with it and see what works. So all you do is take your leader line and feed it through the weight, and you tie your hook on. When I'm dealing with 40, 50, 60-pound mono for leaders, a clinch knot is fine. Go to my line cutters, trim off the excess. Bam, son! Why do they call it a knocker rig? Because when you drop it, it knocks against the hook. You put your piece of cut bait on there, and whatever's on the bottom, well, whack it. This right here will keep you from spinning and causing a big mess when there's a lot of current. Carolina rig, a lot of times, Carolina rig kind of looks like this, and it'll spin up the line and make a mess, but not the good old knocker rig. It just slides down. If you want to get crazy, you can put a bead in between here, but it's not necessary. It doesn't get much more simple than the knocker rig, folks. If the fish are finicky and the current is light, drop down to 20-pound fluoro mono and a lightweight. If the current is heavy, the fish are bigger, bump it up to 40, 50, until you figure out what won't break off and what you're working with. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time right here on After the Episode.